There we go, we're live.
Yippee!
Alright.
Hi.
So,
Hello there.
yes, hi.
Yeah.
So, the four of you are aware that I have asked you guys a question a few days ago, simply choosing one of two words, either fear or noise. And knowing that at least two of you were openly very curious, one of you were drillingly curious. We're only going to mention the one that was drillingly curious is currently staring into their cam disappointedly. You will finally get to learn what these things were. So, your two choices... Your two choices were deciding a game mechanic I would implement. So, how the mechanic works will be introduced later in the session. But your choice was simply deciding... Oh, don't get irritated with me. But your choice will be implemented later in the session.
Bitch! Yippee!
Face, disappointed child.
Actually, one was fear, one was
Anyway, so,
hunger,
I just got
fun.
One was fear, one was noise, and you guys chose fear. And if you guys are thinking that this mechanic has to do with your character's fear, it does not. It is entirely separate. The
Okay, it's not that
new
bad,
mechanic
then.
is completely unsynchronized with your character's fear that you have chosen. So,
It's gotta be that we have to roll. It's gotta be that we have to roll for it so we don't get scared. That's my guess.
you'll see.
If I'm correct, Dom's paying me.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Alright, so, to recap what happened last session, you guys went to hell, obtained Sigil and signed a contract for him, and then came back to the overworld.
Jelly's back.
Silence you. I will rock restricting you. It may not be the same universe, but I will still harm you. So, we are now going to start the session off. So, all of you, after long resting, finally wake up, and you look around and you notice everyone else is still kind of asleep. There's a few campfires slowly smoked out, and as you look around, there's nothing really too noticeable, except for the contract board with one contract sitting on it.
I'd like to go check it.
Alright, so...
I'm gonna drag Sigil to go check it too.
So you guys go over to check the contract, and you take it off the board and you read it out. It's simply somebody asking for some help in a location that they're in because they need some sort of valuable object. And you look at the pricing for the reward. 1,000 gold each.
That's a lot of gold.
That's indeed a lot of gold.
suspicious.
Each? Did I hear each?
Yes, you heard each.
That's very suspicious. I don't trust that.
That's suspicious.
My reaction exactly.
I need to get those. I definitely need to get those parts for your voice modulation system because
Money.
my ear.
Well, do we know who asked for the contract?
The person listed on the contract is some sort of sire, but you don't know the person's name off the bat. They're just some sire from the local area.
Okay. Do you want to do it? But if we do, we gotta keep on high alert. That's one vote. That's one vote.
I'm gonna look at Sigil. What do you think?
Why asking me? I'm not the one at risk here. I don't die, I just get sent back to hell for infinite torment.
I don't trust it at all.
I don't either, but
Then why are you saying we should go?
I said
That's money.
having a vote. And if we're going, we have to be on high alert.
Okay.
They betray us. They send Ace. scent of betrayal, we backstab them.
Wait, what's going on again? Can I reread the paper?
All of you are
I get-
currently deciding whether or not to go to this location.
I don't trust
Just
it, but
do
if
the
I'm
contract.
outvoted, then that's one vote.
Hmm. I don't think this is a good idea, but screw it. Why not?
I think we should go.
It's way too good to be true.
Okay,
It's
well,
good to be true.
the votes say that you guys are going, so you guys head up to the watch, you guys show them your contract, they nod and let you go. So as you guys make it to this location, you start to come across this somewhat dimly lit building. Clearly the windows are covered in a way so that the internal can stay lit without the person inside getting in trouble from the cultists. So you walk up and knock on the door, and this person opens the door, and they're in these kind of posher clothes. Their clothing seems to be fine with bright colors and pure vibrancy. And they looked well kempt and everything instead of a ragged survivor. Oh, hello, you must be you must be from the Scavenging Guild, correct? Come. I'll show you what you need to do.
Hi.
So, the person leads you
Okay.
in and he takes you to this kind of basement door. So, you see, there's some valuables and such down there. I'm only looking for an artifact. I'm a researcher of sorts. But there's an artifact down there that I need to get my hands on. I could care less for anything else that's down there. I think there's some sort of creature. I don't know if it's undead, big rats. I do not like either. But if you could go down there and gather this loot for me, you are more than welcome to help yourself to any treasures, valuables, food, water, anything you find. I simply just want the artifact. If you are willing to help,
Well.
of course.
Well, seeing how you don't seem... sure. They'll go down.
Alright, that's 2
I
votes
start
to go
walking.
down. I think I heard a third from Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my rifle steady, but I go down as well.
Okay, so all 4 of you start moving down this stairwell, which the lights slowly start to dim out as you get deeper. Atlas, your lantern emits a light for everyone to see. So-
Can I
Yippee!
flashlight.
You cannot summon a flashlight. That point in time has not happened.
Okay. I'll summon the lantern then,
Alright, you summon a lantern.
and have
Can I
Atlas.
light?
So, Husk, you light your lantern off of Atlas's staff. So there are now 2 sources of light. So you guys can see a decent bit around you. And as you descend, you kind of walk into this area and you see gold and gems and stuff littering the floor. And as you continue walking down, you end up coming across this pedestal with a decently sized chest. And as you pop it open, you see this strange abyssal artifact inside. It seems to have markings of the cult on it.
Can I check it, seeing how I might have some recollection of any of this?
Okay. Yeah, roll to look at it.
10.
Okay. So you reach into the box and you pick it up, you start looking at it, and after some slight investigation, it doesn't look to see and have any ties with you or anything, it's just purely cult stuff. But as you turn around and start walking away, all of a sudden the entire floor drops out from beneath all of you guys. And you guys are dropped into an entirely different
Uh-oh.
room. And as you guys make impact with the ground, you look around. The room is well lit.
Oh, great heavens!
The room is well lit,
Can I
and
make sure that Sigel has fallen near to me?
he would have no choice. He's chained to you, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So he would have no choice.
They too.
So So, all of you
Yeah.
are now in this well-lit room, and you see this large pane of glass on one wall. And as you walk up to it, you see the researcher walk up to it. Well, well, it seems you've fallen into my trap. Of course, scavengers will chase any gold they can find. But don't worry, I didn't lie about being a researcher. For whom I did and for what I wanted.
Oh, fuck you.
For whom I work for and what I wanted that artifact for, they were lies. Now, let's see, where's that switch for that toxin? Here we go. You see him flick a large lever and all of a sudden
Toxin.
this purplish gas fills the room.
Can I roll to open fire at the glass?
Sure.
Can I command Sigel to breathe until you
14.
cannot breathe?
Okay, hear me out. I want to open a portal to the void at each of the entrances so they can't get in the room. And all it does is just funnel into the void.
Okay. So, Atlas, you start trying to command Sigel in a way that it's easily understandable. Alexios, you start shooting the window, and Husk, you start trying to open portals at the gate, at the vents where this gas is coming from. But before any of you can fully finish what you're trying to do, all of you pass out. And everything seems to go black.
Dang.
Now, let's see.
How does the robot pass out?
Now the walking thing of fire pass out.
Mm.
And
It's
it
the
can't
cult's
breathe.
toxins. You don't question the cult. They have their ways.
The toxin just messes with my inner mechanics and it makes me down boot or whatever it's called.
All of you roll. Roll a d20.
Ruh-roh.
Yay! D20 rolling. 14.
Alright.
17.
Alright.
15.
Mm-hmm.
I also got a 17.
Yay!
Alright, 17's reroll.
15? Okay.
No, 17's reroll.
Oh.
Actually, it wouldn't matter.
17 re-roll.
Try to get a halfway get a. Oh, I hope. Your
You know-
drinks.
Doesn't matter. May!
I-
Oh, Atlas.
What?
Atlas, what is your fear again? For this?
It's on the thing.
I know, I just didn't feel like checking it. Hold on. Okay. So, Atlas, you wake back up and
yeah,
everything
this is
around
what
you
it's-
is pure black. And as you stand up and you kind of get your bearings again, you look around, you notice something's missing. Or at least a feeling is missing. And as you clamp down your hand, you realize the chain is missing. And you just kind of like sporadically look around. And suddenly you see some red figures in the distance. And you, as they start to get closer, you realize they are a giant horde of demons.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to kill these guys like I killed my boss. Like I killed
Oh,
their
no,
boss.
no. Only Atlas is here right now. The rest of you are not existent
Can
in this
I-
area.
Can I summon the spirit weapon and like turn it into a sword?
Yes. So, you summon your spirit
Can I
umbrella.
start like slashing just crazily?
Yes. So, you take out your spirit umbrella and you shapeshift into a sword and you sprint forward and start cutting down demons by the leagues. But there's too many and several flow by you and just start going behind you. But instead of attacking you, you realize they're attacking someone else, and you see them starting to pin down Sigel and grab his chain and slowly drag him back into hell.
I'm gonna run at them fast as I can.
Before you do that, go onto your sheet and add a counter. Also labeled fear. 0 out of
Counter?
20.
Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh dear, this is worrisome.
And set that counter to a nice 15.
Did I get the lowest roll?
No, Husk got a lower roll than you, but I was having all of you roll initially to choose who was going first. Because I rolled a d4 and it chose a number, so that's how I chose you guys. Anyway,
Okay.
I would like you to roll with disadvantage in an attempt to cut down more demons.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Hold on. Oh, it's a 5! I would have had a nat 20 if it wasn't at disadvantage!
So, you draw your weapon, you sprint forward with pure anger, but as you get closer and closer, your heart rate seems to rise, and you grow more and more panicked as your breathing gets faster and faster. And you end up tripping on your own feet through your own panic, and you start hyperventilating as you watch as Sigel slowly gets dragged back down into hell. And after the portal he's being dragged through disappears and all the demons vanish, you sit there in utter fear and sorrow knowing that your last friend is gone.
I'm gonna get up and run in a direction, just to shroom.
Alright, you just get up and start sprinting in a random direction. Anyways. Phoenix! You're up. Atlas, I believe Atlas, I believe you know exactly what's going on here.
What?
I believe you know exactly what's going on here. This isn't the first time you've encountered something like this. At least this isn't the first time your character has
Love you guys.
dealt with something like this.
Love you guys.
Love you!
We'll be back.
Okay,
Gotta go mom's appointment.
okay. Anyway,
Oh dear, this is worrisome.
so,
no.
Phoenix, your fear is astrophobia, fear storms, correct? So, you find yourself in an entirely darkened area. And as you get up and gain your bearings, you look around, there is nothing. No environment, no light, nothing. But suddenly you feel small droplets of rain. And as it slowly starts raining on top of you, you see a dark cloud form above you. As lightning begins to strike the ground next to you. I would like you to add a counter labeled fear out of 20. And set that to 15. Suddenly, you see shelters start to appear around you. Well out of walking distance. So you're going to need to sprint to get to any of them safely. Roll with disadvantage.
I'm booking it.
Roll with disadvantage. To book it to one of the shelters.
I'm not even joking. I rolled a 20, and then I rolled a 1. I guess you and I are in the same boat then.
So, out of pure fear, some
this is
unnatural fear, you start sprinting at full speed to try to make it to one of these shelters. But by the time you get about 10 feet away from where you started, a large bolt of lightning strikes down on top of you, shocking you, locking all your joints, and frying most of your electronics. Knock yourself down to 1 HP. As you collapse onto the floor and your body just seizes. As you start continuing to try to crawl to shelter to save your life. Husk! What is your fear, Husk?
My fear?
Yes.
Yes, I don't know. I haven't really.
What do you mean you don't know? You were supposed to make a fear. Did you not make a fear?
I was never told.
Yes, you were!
I was never told that.
Yes, you were told
No,
to
I
make a fear!
I was never dumb. I was never told which one was chosen.
Hear me out. It should be a funny thing, like your fear
you
is
should have
bunnies.
had a base fear in the beginning. You should have had something your character feared in the beginning.
I don't know. Him being trapped in his infinite.
Have you?
You should make him fear the
not
bunnies.
make a fear for your character before we started the
You never told
campaign?
me to.
Yes, I did. I told every person to do this. This is something every character has to make.
Yeah.
Did every
Trust
single
me,
person?
I know.
Were you the only person who didn't make a fear, even though I made it clear that everyone needed a fear this time?
You never told me.
Yes, I did. Several people
You should
asked
just
me.
make it bunnies. You should just make it bunnies.
No.
Several
That would be
people
hilarious.
asked me. I thought we were removing the fear thing because I mentioned we were removing the fear thing for chapter 3.
That would be hilarious if the strong dude who never stopped fighting threatened literally everyone was afraid of something like a rabbit.
I don't know. His parent was. Who the hell is?
Great. Fear bunnies. Fear bunnies. Fear bunnies. Fear
You're afraid of
bunnies.
water because you are consistent of fire and armor. You are afraid that you will either be extinguished or your armor will rust, and your poor, beautiful armor will be horribly rusted with brown scrap metal.
My armor is already damaged. As compete.
Oh, no, but your fear is that you're afraid it will rust. You do not care if it has holes and dents and punctures and scratches. You are afraid of the simple concept known as rust. You are afraid of oxidization. You are afraid of chemical reaction.
Okay, now the capabilities of the void. There. Final offer. Capabilities of the void.
No! You didn't have a fear, so you're getting whatever fear I decide to give you. You're afraid of water.
No!
Yes!
No! No, capabilities of the void.
You
The
cannot
void.
argue with God.
You can't argue with the DM. You're afraid of water, and that's how it's gonna be. You should have had a fear. I told you specifically to make sure you had one. Even if you said, even a few days ago, you said my character doesn't fear anything.
Yeah, I'm turning your board down.
I told you a few days ago you needed to have a fear.
Don't fucking shush me, bitch.
Because
No, you didn't. I have a fear. Failing his objective. That's the whole reason he's alive.
I don't know how you didn't realize you needed a fear. Even a few days ago, you said your character... You said a few days ago your character is fearless, and I said, no, you can't be fearless, because that's a mentor trait, and none of you guys get mentors. You needed a fear.
Okay.
I told you then you needed a fear.
Okay, fear is failing his objective.
I'm turning your board down.
Don't fucking shush me, bitch.
Your board's off.
I'm turning it down.
Don't fucking shush me, bitch.
Failing his objective.
I will
Fine, you're
shush.
afraid of failing your
Don't
objective
fucking shush me,
because
bitch.
you decided to not have a fear.
You never told me to make one.
Yes, I did!
Yes, you did.
I told you several times to make sure your character had a fear. Even when we made your character, I made sure to tell you your character needed a fear.
Look, I've given you a fear, so just use it.
Yes, I'm going to. Jesus. Anyways, Husk. You wake up in a blackened area. And as you get up and gain your bearings... I don't even know how I would turn this into a fear, because I don't know your character's objective, because you haven't given me half this information for your character.
Full oblivion.
Yeah, so just... You fear dying at this point. Death is your fear!
Stab him.
No.
Stab him.
At that point, water is your fear, because you are fire!
It's not so.
You're afraid of failing your objective. Your objective is to kill somebody. If you die, you cannot complete said objective. You are a soul. You are a flame possessing armor, If that armor is destroyed, you have no body.
Can't be extinguished. And even if so, you can just make another suit of armor.
With
If you're
what?
rusted.
Air? Like, you have no arms to make suits of armor.
Offerings.
How are you gonna burn an offering without a hand to pick one up with?
A burnt, okay? It'll just. I don't have to grab the offerings to burn them. They're strapped on me.
They're strapped onto your armor, kid. Like, if
Beep,
your
boop,
armor's
bop,
gone,
beep, boop,
your
bop,
head
beep,
is
boop,
just a
bop.
floating orb. Why didn't you make a
I'm gonna
fear?
use your
Why
head as a
didn't
bowling
you
ball
make
if you
a
don't stop
fear?
arguing.
Why? I told you to make a fear. Okay, there's not really much I can do to put this scene in working hand in hand with your fear because you didn't make one when I told you to. So, okay. Add a fear counter. 0 out of 20 on your sheet. Set it to a 15.
Wait. There's a monster that, like, destroys metal. That destroys metal, specifically. That could be his fear. Because, well, his body's metal. I'm trying to remember its
Anything
name,
acidic. Or
You're
anything
afraid of
acidic.
acid.
Or with
You could
water.
fear gelatinous cubes.
Anything acidic or with water. Or
He should fear bunnies.
if you fear your
I don't
armor
know.
getting destroyed, you fear everything. Sometimes. Anyways,
I don't
give
fear of his contract.
give yourself a counter and set it to 15.
Okay.
Jesus. Anyways, you find yourself standing across from Oblivion. I would like you to roll at disadvantage to try to attack Oblivion.
$13, $14, $13.
So, you raise your sword and you sprint up to Oblivion with a pure rage. And you start swinging at him, but he just simply backsteps every time, dodging each of your swings. Before simply ramming a staff into your chest and shattering every ounce of your armor. Before simply reaching out towards your soul and then simply corrupting it, turning you into a shadow. Or at least starting to convert you. And you somehow manage to rebind all your armor together with whatever strength you can muster, and you start trying to flee the fight. Anyways, Alexios, you're up. Your fear, if I remember correctly, is bears.
Yes.
So, you stand up in this completely black area, and
Where am I? I swore I just had a dream about someone arguing with, like, a god or something? I don't know.
so you look around and there's nothing really of note until eventually your eyes cross something. You do a double take and you see this large bear standing across from you, slowly prowling towards you. Give yourself a fear counter of 0 to 20 and set it to 15.
Okay. Fear is set.
What would you like to do as an action against this bear?
Shoot it between the eyes.
Alright, roll with disadvantage.
Okay. The first is a 19, and the second's an 18.
So you expertly aim down your sights and you shoot a laser blast and square the bear clean between the eyes as you see it collapse onto the ground. You take a deep breath as you realize that it is gone. Drop your counter down by 2, so you're now at a fear of 13.
Okay.
But as you're finally calming yourself down, you hear more growls, and as you turn around, you see 5 more bears. What would you like to do now?
Do I still have my flame weapon from before?
I'm sorry, what did you say? I couldn't hear you over my little brother.
Do I still have my flame whip thing from before?
No.
Dang it. Okay. Are all the bears like the same, or some smaller than the others?
They're all the same.
Okay. Great, so I would like to run back, step backwards while slowly shooting each of them.
Alright, roll.
Disadvantage or no?
Yeah.
Okay, 18 and 15.
Okay, so you start slowly taking steps back and slowly popping off shot after shot after shot. But it seems like every single time you kill a bear, 5 more spawn. And by the time you're about 6 bears in, you're suddenly surrounded by a large horde of bears. And realizing you don't have the firepower for this, you are slowly overwhelmed by the bears, and they start mauling your body, ripping apart your armor and cutting into your flesh and biting down on you. You manage to squeeze out of the fight and start sprinting away in a random direction, hoping to outrun the bears. And suddenly, after all of you are fleeing off in a random direction, suddenly your sight comes back to you, and all of you find yourselves still trapped in this one room. Atlas, Alexios, and Husk, you guys find yourself running face first into a random wall. While Phoenix, you just kind of find yourself crawling on the ground like you've been desperate for a source of water in the middle of the desert. All of you kind of look at each other embarrassed before simply returning back to your lines.
Can I look around for Sigil?
He's right next to you. He's been next to you the entire time. You've been dragging this poor man on the floor.
I'm gonna crumple and just hug Sigil.
So you crumple down to his side and you give him a tight hug, and he just kind of looks at you half confused like, Jesus, Atlas, what happened? You see me die or something? I'm already dead. I can't die. So, now you may learn what the fear mechanic
Atlas is not going to respond and just hug.
So, now you get to know what the fear mechanic does. How the fear mechanic works is it doesn't have anything to do with your fear. So, however, if you do come across the thing you fear, it affects it more. So, in any combat scenario or environment scenario, if you were in a place where somebody would naturally fear, if it's like pitch black, you would fear unknown, you'd fear the unknown. So, slowly fear will generate. At certain thresholds, certain debuffs will happen. So, around 10 to 15, all rolls you make will be at 1 disadvantage. From 16 to 18, you'll be at 2, and 19 and 20 will be 3. From anywhere from 5 to 9, you will have random panic attacks, and it may interrupt an action or make it do less, but you don't have any disadvantage. While at 1 to 5, your character will just start heavily hyperventilating and have an increased heart rate. That is more of a mechanic that will affect another mechanic at some later point, but you won't be introduced to it during this campaign. Well, not this campaign, this session. It'll be introduced in another session. So, at any point, if you are within combat and have fear, you may spend a turn to try to calm yourself. If you succeed, you can drop your fear down by a roll of d20. So if you're at a fear of 15, you roll a 16, you're perfectly back to normal. While free roaming, you may also try to focus and calm yourself down. Which, free roaming, it's a lot less detrimental than having fear in combat. So, but that's pretty much how the fear mechanic works. So having lights and such will help you a lot. So all of you are currently kind of just shaken out of your minds and rather fearful at the moment. And you notice that the researcher is
I want
gone.
to say that Atlas is crying right now. Just crying and blubbering.
So you're just crying into Sigel's shoulder, and he just looks at you disappointed. Atlas, would you snap out of it, kindly? Please.
Nope.
Am I still
Oscar,
at one
mute it.
health?
Yeah, I just noticed. I'm currently. Husk would just be pissed off right now.
Well, I mean,
That was the.
Am I still at one health?
no. That was specifically from the fear zone. None of you took any actual harm.
I'm going to kill that.
And for emotional harm.
All of you are still
Fantastic.
kind of entrapped within your fear. So, all of you still have a fear counter of 15 except for
There's a ball on the
Nikolai's at
floor.
13.
What?
All of you currently still at a fear of 15 except for Alexios because he managed to knock himself down to 13.
Can Phoenix just be on the floor curled in a ball?
Yeah. So Phoenix is just kind of sitting on the floor balled up. What do you guys wish to do?
Who sent us?
Did my shots into the glass do any damage?
From what it looks like, no. You don't see any damage to the glass.
I guess try and look for a possible exit to the room.
Can I summon a harpoon and throw it at the glass, see if it breaks it?
Alright, yeah, both of you can try that. Both of you roll with disadvantage.
I should have gun at it.
13, again.
Dang, it's 3 and a 19.
So, Alexios, you try to look around the room, but you're too shaky to really focus on the environment. Husk, you shakily lift up your harpoon and you launch it towards the window, but your harpoon seems to just bounce off.
Shit.
While Phoenix is curled up.
I'd like to lift up one of my phase offerings. Help us out of here.
So, alright, so you try to burn your phase offering, but there's some sort of blocker keeping you from using your magic. You aren't allowed to use your offerings here, from what it seems like.
Shit.
While Phoenix is just curling in a ball, like blanking out pretty much, I want her to try like start calming herself down.
Okay, roll.
Yeah, same.
Alright. Whoever wants to roll to calm themselves down, roll with disadvantage.
Got a 6.
I got two 19s.
18!
15.
6.
Okay, so for everyone but Husk, go ahead and roll a d20 and knock your fear down by whatever you roll. And then let me know what you have. Husk, you on the other hand, I'd like you to roll a d8 to
Oh, shit.
knock your fear down.
16!
Bro, I got one.
I have a negative 5 fear.
If you roll higher than what your fear is, it just gets sent to 0.
Dang.
Aw.
Can I try that again?
Well, first roll a d8 to
I
knock
also
yourself
would like to try again.
down a few pegs. You can roll a d8 to try to shake some fear off you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. You rolled shittily. You don't get the privilege of
Can I roll again?
Yeah, you can roll again. You just have to roll to
I rolled a
succeed this time.
6.
Roll a 6? Okay.
Can I stop blubbering and wipe my face from all my tears?
Yes.
And I'm gonna stand up and compose myself.
I got a 13, so I'm still at 1 fear.
I'd like to look at for next.
What'd you say, Husk? I did not hear a single word you said.
I want to look around for an exit.
What's your fear right now?
It dropped down by 6 since you told me roll d8. So.
It's at 9.
9.
Alright. Alright, so, Atlas, as you stand up and compose yourself, Sigel just kind of sits there and slowly wipes tears off his shoulder. While he stands up and just looks at you annoyed. Thanks for sharing, Atlas. Thank you so much. Anyways, Husk, roll to search. Roll to look around.
Phoenix has calmed down a little bit more, but she's still in a ball.
Husk, are you gonna roll to search?
Yeah, 1 second. I was just fixing my bed. 15!
Okay. Alright. So, you look around and you notice a large door at another end of the room. What do you wish to do?
I'd like to start chopping it down with an axe.
Okay, roll.
20!
So, you reach into the void and you get out this axe and you sprint towards this door at full force and spin it up and swing down this door. And as you whack the axe against the door, it bounces off as sparks fly back and you kind of fling yourself back a few steps. And then you realize that this door is metal. Why the hell would they have a wooden door in an underground area with vents and toxic gases? Because that's smart.
Oh, son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
So there's a giant metal door.
Bitch!
As has just been discovered by good old Husk here. What do you guys wish to do?
Blow it up! I'll summon a piece of TNT.
I will not allow you to carry prime explosives within within your void. You may think of other ways, but you may not.
I'd like to burn it down with the fire staff.
Okay. Alright. Roll.
7. Damn.
Can I ask Sigel if he could break the door?
Yeah.
Ask if he's capable.
So, you look at Sigil and you ask him if he can bust down the door. And he just asks you to walk him over to the door. So you walk him over to the door, he presses his hand against it, runs his fingers along the seams of it, before tapping his finger at 2 points. I could do it, but my current status of being able to use any abilities wouldn't let me. As, you know, this chain here is kind of restrictive. Specifically, it's meant to make me so I can't use any of my abilities. At least not without being told to.
Can I command him to do so? Use his abilities to break the door?
Okay, so you give him the command, and he just simply tells you to stand just enough so where he can easily reach the door from where he needs to be with his chain, with the distance of his chain. So you stand where he wants you to, and he takes a few steps back before a large red crystalline formation appears on his right arm. And he braces his arm and charges into the door before putting a giant breach in the doorway and dragging you a bit with him. Before simply peeking his head back through and just simply going, "There you go, door's open." So now
He's
what do you all
useful.
Now what do you all
I'm
wish
gonna
to
go
do?
through the door.
Alright, so you walk through the door. Does anyone else want to follow, or are all of you just going to stay in this other room? In the Atlas and
I'll
Sigel?
follow. I'll follow and be very careful.
Alright, so...
But also, I'm gonna I want to summon a light source to keep her nerves, you know.
Everything is well lit. The
I think
entire...
I got distracted.
Everything's bright.
Yeah, everything's well lit. And Phoenix, you just missed the metal door being breached open. So, you guys walk into this next room, and you don't see anything really of note. It's just another empty white room with another glass window. What do you guys wish to do now?
See if this window's breakable.
Alright, roll.
But first of all, before we even test that out,
Is there another door?
what material is it made of?
You don't know what material the glass is made of. You just know it's some sort of glass-like material, because it's see-through.
19.
Alright, so, Alexis, you walk up and you put your hand against the window. Your suit begins to gather data on what the window is made out of. It's simply, your suit reports back that it's just a basic glass. There doesn't seem to be any chemicals or other material within it to make it durable.
Interesting. I smashed through it.
Alright, roll.
14.
So, you reach your rifle up and you press the butt of your rifle against it before swinging back and jamming it into part of the window. And a large fracture goes through the window, weakening it. And then you just kind of press your shoulder up against it and slowly push out the broken glass, leaving a large jagged hole big enough for everyone to climb through.
Don't get hurt. Come on, let's go.
Would I be able to lay my scarf down to make sure no one gets cut by glass?
You could, if you want to. Although it doesn't guarantee
I'm gonna do that.
your scarf doesn't pick up any glass shards.
Oh well.
New
I'll deal
weapon.
with that later. Glassy
New
scarf.
weapon.
So, you lay your scarf down and everyone's able to climb through the window without any cuts. And as Sigel finishes following all of you guys, he picks up the scarf, kind of coils it a little bit before running it against his leg, and then handing it back to you. And you see him just slowly picking some glass shards out of his leg and throwing them aside. Here you go. Shardless scarf.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So, all of you guys begin to start leaving, and as you guys start leaving, you see the researcher coming back down. And you see him teamed up with two other cultists. And all of you just kind of like stop dead and have the most like cartoony stare down ever of just pure confusion by all of you.
I'm gonna command Sigel to kill him. But include that he can go further than the chain, and he can use his powers.
So you wish to just let him pretty much roam as free as he needs to do his thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, go ahead and roll to give him this command.
That's a 6.
Yeah.
You
What'd you say, Dominic?
You try to tell Sigel the command, but it just kind of comes out as jumbled words. And he just kind of looks at you confused before simply saying, Atlas, I thought we'd been over this. Over the past 4 years ago. I don't speak gibberish! Jesus Christ! I speak common, Atlas! Common! Not Hebrew, lady! You see him down a bit of his whiskey before just kind of stowing it back and looking to the side. You can hear a soft snicker from himself as he's laughing at his own insult.
I'm gonna retry. Can I retry?
Sure, you can roll again.
If it happens again.
Okay, this one's better. It's a 14.
You You take a deep breath before slowly speaking it all out again, and Sigel looks at you before slowly giving you an applause. Oh, look at you! I knew you could get the words out, Atlas. I thought you could speak common, but I wasn't too sure after that last attempt.
I'm gonna hide my face in my hands.
Oh, stop being embarrassed, Atlas. You're an adult. You'll be fine. Suddenly, you feel the chain grip in your hand fall off of your hand, and it clinks against the ground. You see Sigel crack his neck a little bit. You see him crack it one way, and by the time he starts bringing his head the other way, you see him crack his head in an entire circle. Ooh, it's been a while since I stretched my neck like that. Anyways, you see him pull out his old dagger, and he sprints up and just shanks the researcher right in the chest. You see the researcher spurt out blood from his mouth as he just collapses onto the floor. Well, that was easy. Oh, there's two more of you.
And this.
I don't want to take the fun from all of you guys. Go ahead, why don't you guys have a fight? I'll sit and watch. The chain reconnects to your hand, Atlas. All of you roll for initiative.
Why'd you kill the researcher? We could have gotten info out of him.
There's other ways to get info out of a dead corpse. I could
12. I don't know.
So, Alexis, as you question Sigel on why he killed the researcher, he just walks up next to you, puts a hand on your shoulder, and simply pats it before saying, "There are other ways to get information out of a person, before or after death." For some reason, you just feel unsettled by his answer, as he walks back to Atlas's side and the chain reconnects to Atlas's hand.
I regret opening that portal.
I opened it. You didn't open it.
So, all of you roll for initiative.
I got 11.
I said 12.
19.
Did you get a 1?
So, orders as follows: Alexios, Atlas, Husk, and Phoenix. Alexios, what do you wish to do?
I would like. Well, there isn't anything else I can do, so gun.
Okay. Roll to shoot.
6.
So, you aim down your rifle, and you fire off a shot, and you miss one of the cultists pretty easily. Atlas, your turn. What do you wish to do?
I need to recalibrate it.
I'm going to ballistic burn.
Alright, roll.
I'm gonna do 2 balls of fire. So I'm gonna roll twice, right?
No, you roll one. You roll once, but it depends on how many people you're attacking, is how much damage output will be made. So, are you attacking one of them or both of them?
Both.
Alright, so, yeah, just roll once.
18.
So, you raise your hand out and drop it in kind of a palm-out pointing position, and 2 large fireballs blast out of your palm before striking each of the cultists in the chest. Husk, your turn. What do you wish to do?
Okay. I wish to summon a fire staff and blast a bunch of shots towards the cultists.
You still have your fire staff from before. You don't need to resummon.
Yeah.
But sure, roll.
I still have the... $13.
So you raise up the staff and launch out a fireball and square one of the cultists in the chest again. Their clothes seem to have caught fire. So they're currently kind of sitting there rapidly patting out their clothes, trying to get the fire out. Phoenix, you're up. What do you wish to do?
It's my turn already?
Yes,
I was last.
you are last. Everyone
Okay.
else went already.
Aim. Wait, I don't have a disadvantage, right? Because of my fear?
Yeah, you're fine now.
Okay, cool. I'm still at 1. So there's only 2 people, right? And they're both on fire?
Only one of them is.
Yes.
Okay. Glad someone answered me.
I told you only one of them was on fire.
I didn't hear you, you're laggy. Okay, I just want to stab the one that's apparently not on fire.
Alright, roll.
$19.
Alright, so you ready your dagger and you sprint up and stab them kind of around their kidney. And you just walk back to your line. It's now the cultist's turn. The one that's on fire is going to try to set himself out. After a bit of patting and doing some classic stop, drop, and rolling, he has set himself out. So he's no longer on fire. The other cultist is going to attack. And... Alexios, roll to dodge.
Okay.
Why Alexios?
17.
So the other cultist sprints up to you and tries to swing at you with a dagger, but you manage to sidestep out of the way. Suddenly, though, you see a shadow appear out of nowhere. Seems like one of the cultists can summon them. So there's now a basic shadow in the lineup.
Oh no.
Alexios, it is your turn.
Okay, I would like to... I'd like to shoot the one that was not on fire.
Alright, roll.
Okay. Four.
You aim down your
Touch gun
sights
is
and
broken.
you miss by a good margin.
My gun's broken now.
I like how Nikolai had no bad rolls and then Alexios has a lot of bad rolls.
This is depression.
Atlas, your turn. What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna use fever and run at the, shadow.
Alright, roll.
The 6.
So, you start heating your body up and you sprint up at the shadow and you miss by a good margin. And as you kind of like slow down after realizing you ran right past them, and you suddenly start smelling what smells to be like burnt flesh. And as you look back, you see the chain turn red hot as it's just frying Sigel's neck.
I'm gonna command him to. He can get away from the chain.
He can't. The chains are wrapped around his neck. He can't take it off unless he gets sent back to hell.
I didn't think about that.
You rapidly start cooling your body down as he just looks at you with a dead expression on his face, and he just simply says, "Thanks, because it's definitely winter and I totally needed to warm up." You suddenly walk back to the line with Sigel, kind of feeling bad that you were frying him, although he doesn't seem to even be in pain. Husk, it's your turn. What do you wish to do?
I'd like to open a portal to the void on one of the cultists' heads, like on their neck, and then close it so it cuts their head off.
Alright. Roll.
Alright.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Yo!
So, you open a void portal and drop it on top of one of the cultists' heads. and they just kind of, you notice their body start to like react in like a, huh? What? Where am I? And all of a sudden you close it, chopping off their head. So now they're just a headless corpse and they drop to the floor dead.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna be back.
Okay. Phoenix, your turn. What do you wish to do?
Okay. I want to summon a soul for once, the limbo looking one.
Okay, so you spend this turn summoning a limbo soul. So this limbo soul is a different turn from you, so it takes its turn after you. What would you like this limbo soul to do?
Okay, wait. Can you explain the limbo soul again, real quick?
Okay, so how limbo soul works is it doesn't have a specific ability alignment. It can be specialized for both healing and attacking, but it doesn't do great in either. So it's kind of a run-of-the-mill thing. However, if you make it attack more and be more offensive, it will turn into a hellish soul by the time your fight's over. And if you make it more supportive, it'll turn into a blessed soul. And then, after a certain amount of limbo souls have been used, you will gain abilities relating to how many hellish and blessed souls you have created using limbo souls.
Okay. But, like, what weapons does he have and stuff, like, to attack?
He doesn't have any weapons.
So you'd be punching things.
Well, you can make it have weapons, but you don't summon them with weapons. But you can command them to get items. So what would you like this limbo soul to do? Giving it a weapon will cause it to start aligning with hellish, while giving it things like healing items, like healing staves, anything that can be used as a supportive weapon to help out your allies will be given as blessed. So
I want him to start attacking.
Alright. Roll for him to attack. And also, what would you like him to attack? There's one cultist
Is
and
the shadow still?
Yes, the shadow is still alive.
Yeah, I want him to attack the shadow.
Alright, roll.
He got a 20.
Okay. So, you summon this soul up, and it seems to be this, like, gray, ethereal spirit. Everyone can easily see it. And it takes this kind of humanoid shape. It has arms, legs, a head. And you command it to go attack the shadow. And it runs up, and it kind of punches the shadow a few times across the head before kicking it right in the chest. And as it returns back to you, all of a sudden you see its glow kind of go from this grayish, colorless look to a more devilish red. So, it is now the cultist turn. Cultist will attempt to attack. Okay. Well, as much as I would like to say Atlas roll to dodge, you see this cultist sprint up to you. And as he's sprinting, he trips on on the flooring and then just kind of rolls out in front of you. And you just kind of look at him, and Sigel just kind of like peers over and just stares at him. And he just kind of looks up at both of you embarrassed before Sigel simply slowly draws his dagger and then just plunges his dagger down into the cultist. Before simply getting up, wiping his dagger clean and stowing, and just like, well, he died of embarrassment. He just slowly looks at all of you, all slowly slowing down his hand, wiping. He did die of embarrassment. He got embarrassed and he got killed. He died of embarrassment. Jesus, people don't understand
I'm gonna laugh
logic
at the
anymore.
joke very hard.
Oh my god.
Anyways, it is
I'm
now
also
the
gonna
Shadow's
sit
turn.
there with like my hands put together and my eyes closed and be like praying to Alir. Oh, thank you, Alir. You have given us your fake shoelaces.
You given the enemy an invisible shoelace syndrome. Chronic shoelace. The chronic invisible shoelaces. So, Phoenix, as much as I would like to say dodge, you see the shadow sprint up to you before it just lunges past you and misses, before returning back to its lineup. Alexios, your turn. What do you wish to do?
Yet again. Thank you, Alir.
Okay, I would like to... I guess hopefully by this point I have fixed my gun, so just shoot at the shadow.
Alright, roll.
19.
So, you finally aim down your sights and you finally pound the shadow in the face with a laser. Before looking at your gun and then just simply whispering to it, "Finally!" So,
I'm
Atlas.
not that mad.
Atlas, your turn. What do you have to do?
What's left?
Just the shadow.
I'm gonna resummon my spirit umbrella and I'm gonna try and kebab him.
Okay, roll.
Kebab!
17.
Alright. So, your spirit umbrella shows up in your hand, you pop it open, showing the face of a frog, and then as you close it, you sprint up and shank this shadow and lift him up into the air, and slightly opening your umbrella so he just kind of stays on an elevated point on the umbrella. The shadow's now dead, and as it slowly slides down your umbrella, it just seems to vanish.
Lunaria would be proud of the shadow kebab.
Yippee!
So you guys finally brush off, and you kind of just see all the dead corpses. And then you see the researcher the researcher's corpse lying dead on the ground.
Yoink! I take the body.
No, put it. I wanna loot it. I wanna loot it. Give me all his goodies.
So,
I'm sorry.
okay. Phoenix, roll to loot. Roll to see what you find on his
I
body.
said if him and I would loot everything.
What? Alright, so you get down next to his body and you start patting down his pockets and everything, but it seems his pockets are completely empty except for a few scraps of paper.
We didn't get our payday.
But what's on the paper?
You start trying to read the paper, but it's all in the cult's abyssal, so you don't understand a single word of it.
Can I ask
Can I-
Gel if he could read it?
Things.
Alright, so yeah, you can ask the Joe. So you ask Gel, and he just kind of looks at he takes the paper from Phoenix, looks it over, and then he looks over it a bit, and then just looks you dead in the eyes and simply responds with, "I don't understand a simple smidge of this. Anyone
Can I keep
from
it
the
anyways?
cult or shadows that could understand it, that you may know?"
Oh, we could,
Dominic,
All right.
can I just keep the papers anyways? Just in case.
I mean, you can keep the papers if you want.
Yoink.
Hey, maybe we'll run into it too that we found at the beginning of
Satsu, we can go get Satsu.
I mean, if I remember correctly, one of you can call Satsu over, because one of you do understand Satsu now. If that person
the...
remembers.
What? Oh. But how would I call Satsu?
I don't know. I mean, he figured out when you guys were in danger that you guys existed. So I don't know. Maybe sound like you're in danger or something. I don't know. Just try something. Or maybe just yell his name.
Satsu, please help us! Oh dear!
I'm gonna
Husk,
join
is
him
that-
in his yelling.
Husk, is that in character?
I leave to go and gather materials deeper in the facility.
Husk, was that in character or out of character?
Out of character.
Okay, out of character, good. I was about to say, if that's in character.
I just leave to go try and search for materials inside the facility as they yell and scream.
So you try to find you start finding your way out, but you see this large set of doors that seem to be locked, and they seem to only be locked from the outside.
Dang it, I can't steal more tech. Well, the tech would probably be trash, but...
Still, are my charms still not able to be used?
No, they still can be used.
Alright, we'll figure this out when we get to base. Let's go.
Is there a lock on the
The
door?
only way out is locked, and it seems to be locked from the outside. There's no lock on the
Can
inside.
I open up a...
Oh, does the scientist have the key?
No, Phoenix patted them down and didn't get nothing.
Can I try and
Anyone
open
else
a wall panel?
Can we just break it open? Can we just break it open?
You're gonna try to break open another metal door with something?
I need to find tech. I need tech.
Hey, Jill!
No.
Gotta open the door for ya!
I'm not gonna bash open the door. I'm not supposed to take commands from you.
Or I could just use this.
Hey, you
Hold
fire!
up.
Hey, you other fire person! Command your elf to bash the door.
I don't take commands from you.
I would like to shut my nanomachines at the door.
Alright. So you start trying to use your nanotech to breach open the door, but it seems to be sealed tight against anything that could go through it.
Do you have to have them, like, eat it?
No.
Well, seeing how Atlas ain't gonna has to gel open it.
Nope.
I'll go deeper in the facility to see what's there.
You're as deep can get.
Dang.
Well, maybe we can do the opposite of going deep.
So there was no locks on the door?
There's no visible locks. There seems to be something locking the door, but nothing that you can physically interact with.
Can I just look around?
Hear me out.
Alright, yeah, so Phoenix, roll to look around.
The box full of keys. Could one of those keys be the key to open this door?
There is no lock.
I don't
the
think
lock's
so.
on the other
There's
side.
no lock on the door.
The locks, yeah.
I would like to go back to the original room we were in.
I rolled a 19.
Alright, so Alexis, you walk back to the original room to search around. Phoenix, you start looking around, and as you start getting near the door, you notice some sort of electromagnetic field pooling on you. And as you kind of like feel against the walls, you notice there are some wiring and some other
Magnetic?
sort of machinery that activates a lock system.
Since I'm a technician, can I just start messing around with it and seeing if I can find a way to open it?
So you can't visibly see because it's hidden within the walls, but you do know at least there is a mechanism locking the door. So the machinery you
Can I
try to
drag
get to is behind walls.
Alexios to it so that, or someone to it and be like, I can't really exactly tell them like, hey guys, look, there's a thing right here, because
I mean, you could just try to do
Bitch!
I have voice buttons, so I don't know how to tell them.
I mean, if you can find some way to call someone over to you and maybe describe your point through that.
Guys, we've met the most.
Get over here! Get over here!
I'm gonna get over there.
So Atlas,
Door.
you and Sajel walk over to Phoenix, and Phoenix starts pointing at the wall and tapping against it and smacking their fist against it. And you just kind of look confused. Roll to try to understand what Phoenix is motioning. Roll to try to understand
I know I'm
charades.
gonna be able to. I know I can. Well, let's see how I roll. Oh no!
What'd you get?
9!
No.
So
I'm gonna ask Sajel if he can understand her.
you look at Sajel, and Sajel just kind of like thinks on it for a minute before just kind of like pinching the bridge of his nose. Alice, how could you not understand that there's something behind that wall?
I have a question.
Huh.
Can I only feel like the the things because I'm metal and stuff like a robot, or can I like make them get closer and try and feel it?
Only you can feel it.
There's something behind that wall, eh?
Only you and Alexios could feel it, because you guys have machinery that could be disturbed by electromagnetics.
Okay, I wanna drag Alexios over here then.
So
Can I use my nanomachines to
Get over here!
Can I use my nanomachines to make a drill?
yes. Albeit
Okay.
you have to make it a hand drill since you can't make electronics.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you just have this crank drill. Yeah, you make a drill and you kind of just hold it. What do you wish to do?
Start drilling through the wall to get to the components on the other side.
All right, roll.
14.
Okay, so you plant the drill against the wall and you hold it down with one hand and start cranking it with the other, and you slowly start drilling into the wall with it. So eventually you feel the drill kind of like start losing its grip on whatever you're drilling, and eventually you push it all the way through the wall, leaving this rather decently sized hole so you can see the mechanics on the inside. Now what do you guys wish to do?
I would like to look over the wires to see if I can recognize how any of the things are hooked up.
So you start looking at the wiring using your technician skill, and as you're doing this, Phoenix, you look at Atlas and Sigil, and you see Atlas giving Sigil kind of like an evil-like grin, but for reasons you don't know why. So, Alexios, after you take a good look at the wiring and everything, you end up realizing that it's some sort of biometric scanner. So, there's no way you guys could have easily unlocked this regardless you tried.
Oh, do we need to go get the scientist and put his eye to the thing?
I go kidnap the body.
Alright, so, Phoenix, you go grab the body and you drag it over, and as you start bringing it back over, you kind of place it right at the door, but nothing happens. And there doesn't seem to be an eye scanner or anything.
Maybe he needs to put his hand somewhere.
Well,
Or his blood?
you look around,
on
but
the
you don't
other
see any
side.
sort of scanning or any device that could take his biometrics.
Phoenix just drops the body like, bro, I did that for no reason.
Biometric scanner.
So, while all of you are still thinking about what to do, Phoenix, you hear something slowly, like, tugging at your mind. And you hear what seems to be a faint voice that's laughing. And as you spin around, you look at the dead corpse and you see the soul of the researcher just floating above his dead corpse laughing. and he begins to
What
talk
are
to
you
you.
looking at, Phoenix?
And so Phoenix, the soul of the researcher, begins to talk to you. All of you are fools and all of you will die here of starvation or rust or whatever. You won't get through there. It's a biometric scanner compared to my genetics. However, it needs me alive. So, all of you are trapped down here. No way for you to get out.
Okay, I have two things. I have two things to say.
Alright,
Actually, I'll ignore the first thing. I have a new thing to say.
alright.
Since I am a Reaper, can I take his soul and put it back into his body? Is that possible?
You can try.
I want to try that.
Okay, so, roll.
I just want to grab his soul and force it into his body.
Okay, roll.
And then, even if it doesn't work, all they see is me going in the thing. And it's funny. Okay.
What'd you get? So, Phoenix, you jump up into the air, and everyone sees you kind of like pounce up into the air, and you just kind of like, you try to grab the soul, but you fly right through it and run face first into the opposite wall, and then drop down on the ground. You are more than welcome to try again.
You know, if my charms could work here,
I got a 19 this time.
the possession charm to possess his dead body.
So, Phoenix, you stand up, you compose yourself, and you grab the soul by its shoulders, and he looks at you and is like, what are you doing? And you drag his soul down, you start whacking it into his corpse. And you shove it in his corpse, and everyone else sees you pounding your fist into his shoulders. And everyone just kind of looks at you confused. And Sigel kind of walks up as close as he can get, kneels down next to you, looks you dead in the eyes, and simply says, "Hey, you have to let go of a soul to put it into a body." After saying that, you look at the soul, look at the body, and look at him before you let go, and the soul just slowly flows back into the body. And all of a sudden, the researcher just shocks himself back awake, and all he hears is, "What the hell? How am I alive? Oh, look at that! You did it! Good job, you brought someone back from the dead." And all of a sudden, the door opens wide. "Alright, good." Sigel puts the person in a chokehold and just holds him like this. "You're gonna stay alive until we don't need you anymore, got that?" Anyways, after you all.
I'm gonna run through the door.
So you run through the door, and Sigel kind of like half-pacedly sprints behind you, trying to run while holding the body in front of him. "Alice, if you don't mind, stop running! It's kind of hard to run when you're holding another person."
I'm going to use... Can I use...
Well, then I'll pick up his legs and help.
You're gonna...
Why are we running?
Alright.
Why are you running?
Roll to pick up Sigel and the
you're
researcher. Sigel isn't really the thing you're rolling to pick up, it's more the researcher.
I'm gonna open a portal to the void on the researcher to suck him in.
No, don't. We need him.
He won't die in there.
I don't care. We need him for now.
He'll be traumatized, yes, but he'll be alive.
You can get him out of the void whenever you want.
All of you leave the downstairs area, and you see Sigel just kind of looking around before reaching his leg over to a chair and dragging it over, before putting the person in the chair, getting behind them, and pinning them to the chair. "Well, if you guys got any questions, ask now." And Sigel draws out a dagger and pins it against the researcher's neck.
Where'd you get the technology for this?
"We've had this technology for forever. Actually, I can vouch on that one. Me and Atlas have seen several hideouts from the cult with technology like this. Apparently it's from the future or whatnot."
I'm gonna nod.
I say you work for Oblivion?
"No duh. Of course. I totally don't work for Oblivion after you see me walk in with cultists. No, I'm only walking around with them because why not? Of course I work for
walk up
Oblivion."
to him.
I'm gonna ask if he has food and money.
I'm gonna go up to him and just tell him, I'm going to make you suffer a world of pain.
Well, as you start to walk up to him, you see Sigel point his dagger at you, Husk, and motioning you back before simply drawing the dagger and slicing it across the chest of the person. Before Sigel he keeps him alive, he doesn't do a fatal strike. But you see him slice the dagger across the researcher's chest before slowly moving his head closer, and you hear him whisper something into the researcher's ear, and the researcher's eyes go wide before his body starts to shake. "Good, that'll keep you in line. Anyways, anything else you always want to ask?"
I'm gonna ask if he has food and money.
Yeah, we want our paycheck, bitch.
Yes, I have food and money over there in that cabinet. And he motions over to this kind of storage cabinet.
Do you happen to have a storage of any technological pieces that I can use?
Yes, over there. And he motions to a storage room labeled tech.
Perfect.
Is that all you want to ask him, or is that
Sigel
it?
kills him.
Seeing how you work with what's now...
I want to check the rooms and the cabinet and room and see if it's not lying. With my dagger in hand, just in case.
What do you know about
Phoenix
Oblivion?
roll.
hell is that neurotoxin?
13.
Okay, so you go to each of the rooms and you kind of slowly open the door with your daggers ready, and you notice he was actually telling the truth. And Husk, you ask the researcher about the gas.
The neurotoxin.
You wouldn't know it's neurotoxin. You're not from a timeline far enough in to know neurotoxin. You just know it's a toxic gas.
I know, out of character, I'm calling it neurotoxin.
Yeah. So, you ask him about it, and he kind of shakily responds, "It's a fear gas. Its job is to knock out whoever inhales it and make them experience their worst fears."
Where do you get your supply, and where is it?
Oblivion has researchers make it. Over where he's at. Well, I can vouch on the
Where's
fear
your
part.
supply?
That's happened to us before. But didn't know
Where's
Oblivion
your
had it
supply?
just produced.
Where's your supply here?
That's all the supply I had. It was only meant for one dose.
Damn it. Okay, look. Once we're done questioning you, I'm taking you. You're coming with us.
No. Once we're done questioning him, I kill him.
No, you're not.
We can't
He's
leave
going
witnesses.
Yes.
There
What
won't
do
be
you take the...
if he doesn't exist anymore.
Hey,
Don't-
Yes, and if I kill him, who the hell's gonna bring him back?
I just point at Husk and be like,
hey, Vanix. I may be with some of this tech. I may be able to fix your voice system. Well, may actually need some other pieces, but this is a good start.
Is everyone done questioning?
I'm done questioning him.
should we... Well,
So, do any of you have questions left for this fucker? Or is he good?
Where did this technology originate from?
From the year 3000. I'm from the future as well.
What?
Prove useful. I'm gonna open a portal under him and drag him in.
Before you can do that, Sigel grabs
did
him in
you-
the chair and backsteps, dodging him out of the way. Atlas, you get tugged along with Sigel as he dodges out of the way. If you didn't hear me,
Yeah.
we're not leaving him alive.
You don't realize.
can I just, like, I don't know, grab Husk in some ways I can force him to stay still? And again, I say,
Do you know how to get back to the future?
No, it was a one-way trip with the time machine. There's no way back.
Hey, that's a movie from the 1980s.
Do you know where this time machine is currently?
In the future, that's where. Year 3000. It doesn't exist here. It's
No
a one-way time
remnants.
machine.
Dang it.
you should ask him how he made it.
How did you make the time machine?
I didn't make it, I only traveled through it.
So why did you decide to throw your lot in with a dark god?
Because I'm part of
A
the
wannabe.
cult of truth in the future.
That's not my future.
Oh, it will be.
Trust me, through all the times
Aw.
I've dealt with this, it ain't gonna end well for the cult.
So, all of you done questioning him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna impale him with a spear. Right in the
I'm
head.
going to Sigil
So-
to kill him.
Husk, you again try to kill the person, but Sigel then rips him out of the chair and pins him to the floor before knocking your spear out of the way. I told you you're not killing him! I don't trust your incompetence. You don't look accurate. Alice, can I have
Can I
a man to
scan
drag
him
this
to see
person
it?
off to a different room and not be binded by the chain for a minute?
He's got a
Yep.
lock.
I'm commanding
I
him to do that.
Can I scan him quickly to see if he has any tech on him?
Okay, so Alexis, roll a scan.
16.
So you run a diagnostics on him, and you see no outstanding tech amounts except for just a prosthetic. You just see a prosthetic leg with nothing really special to it. That's about it.
Dang.
So
As he's pinned down to the floor, I'm taking him to the void. I'm not giving up on this.
well,
Yep.
again you try, but Sajel then backsteps with him.
I
and
have
sprints him off to
already
another room.
commanded Sigil to kill him.
I take off the prosthetic leg and hit you over the head with it.
Can't hit.
Husk
I
rolled a
command
dodge.
Sigil to take him to a different room.
Husk rolled a dodge. Alexios rolled a strike.
Oh yeah, I'm also gonna destroy the leg. I rolled a 5 to dodge and 1 to hit. Damn.
I rolled a 15.
So,
Yeah, he
Alexios, you real quick just look at Sajel and just ask, may I? And he just kind of looks at you confused. I'm like, sure, just don't kill him. And you reach down on the leg and you summon some nanotech to pull apart his leg, and you rip it off his body, and you just walk over to Husk and look at him before raising it above your head and whacking him on top of the head. And all you hear is a metal thunk as it whacks against his armor from crushing his head inside of his armor.
Like a
This-
whistle bat.
So,
Could actually be
Husk,
useful. I'm
your
gonna keep
flame and eye pop up again out of your armor, and you take a moment to recover from your dazing. And as Sajel slowly
I'm gonna
drags...
command Sigil to do what he wants.
So Sajel then drags the person back downstairs, and then before the door can shut, you see a large red crystal holding the door open. And then suddenly, everything seems to go quiet for a few minutes, as you guys are just waiting to hear any noise from downstairs. And all of a sudden, you hear some panicked screams, and then all of a sudden, you hear what sounds to be the person choking on their own blood before it goes silent again.
I'm gonna open
Why
the
did we pick up this guy again?
And you see Sajel walk back out and take a step over the crystal before sheathing his dagger and wiping his mouth clean of something. Before he walks back over to you and then simply just says, "Okay, job's done. He's dead. No one's gonna be able to find him. Ever."
Would he count as one of the cult members we have to get for the...
for saying
yeah.
I say 0 words and I immediately leave.
Before he does that, I'm going to open a portal in his legs and then close it. While his legs are chilling.
In mine?
Yes.
I'm not going to allow you to
Cutting off.
mangle your
I want to
teammates. I'm not going to
tackle
allow you to mangle your teammates and cripple them from being able to move. I'm not going to allow that. Infighting and mangling your allies are very two different things.
Then summoning a bat and hitting him across the head with it.
No, he specifically needs you to stop doing what you're doing so that Joe could go handle the corpse.
Yes. Husk ain't gonna take shit.
Fine. Husk, roll to attack. Alexios, roll to dodge.
Ah, great, I have to deal with this fool
And also
again.
roll to stop Husk.
Yeah, Phoenix, roll to stop
I
Husk.
got an 18.
I got a 20. I got a 20.
Husk, what did you get?
I got a 19.
Oh, fuck you.
Okay, so Husk, you summon a bat out of the void and you raise it and you swing it at Alexios. And Alexios is unable to dodge out of the way in time, but before it can strike, you see Phoenix dash in and tackle you over to the ground. Before simply looking at you, wagging their finger, and then walking back.
Tear off Phoenix's finger.
You will not.
Can I command Sigil to restrain him?
Sure.
Restraint physically can't be touched.
Your armor can.
I can just leave the armor.
Take his armor away.
Can I take a sample?
Make a new one.
So Joe
Can I-
cracks
can
his
I just
knuckles.
say
So
something
Joe
with
begins
my-
to crack his knuckles as he receives the command, and all you hear is the loudest set of knuckle cracking ever. Before he just simply looks at his hands like, huh, I guess I haven't cracked him in that long. Anyway, you see him walk up before punching
Oh, I
his
thought he
palm.
broke his finger.
Husk, you see
What the
Sajel
heck?
walking towards you before he simply sidekicks your armor and sends every component of it flying. Except for just your soul flame just floating. Before Sigel simply
sneak
bundles up
over,
all your
grab
armor
a
and
tiny
ties it in
piece
some
and
sort of
sneak
rope
off.
and heaving it over his shoulder.
I'm going to grab one of my charms and just.
Your
going to grab
charms
my-
are on your armor, first off, and you don't have a
Yes.
hand to grab them with. You don't have a
My
hand to
body-
grab your charm with.
Would Phoenix be able to hold the soul? Hold the
Yeah,
like
technically.
fire soul?
Let me just take the soul, put it under my arm like it's a football, and just start walking off like, alright.
Phoenix, roll to do that. Roll to do that.
I just leave. I just leave and go back to the base. I'm done with this.
I got a 19.
I just leave
So,
the facility.
while you're
I'm
just kind
out.
of looking at your armor slowly being lugged away by Sigel, all of a sudden you feel a pair of hands grab your soul, and you look around and see Phoenix grabbing you and slowly dragging you under their arm and walking off with you.
Once we kill
Word.
the rest of you, killing the rest of you.
So all of you guys finally return back to the base, and as you get there, you notice everybody's finally awake and kind of doing their own thing. And
Oh wait, shit! You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to get all the food and coins.
I'll just say you guys did that without having to do it.
Thank God.
So you guys show up with all this loot and everything, and you take it over to the turn-in zone, and you kind of turn everything in. And you turn all the food, and you see them stocking it all away, and there is about maybe months upon months of food supply for food. And that's considering all the people in this hideout. If it was only the group of you alone, it would be decades worth. And after they take the gold, they kind of put out a decent side of it, and then leave you guys at 500 gold each.
Yes.
So you guys are finally at the base, able to rest. Husk, you've been
I'm going to wait.
re-allowed your soul, freedom, and your armor has been given back to you. What do you guys
wait
wish
for
to
some
do?
to Hold on a second.
Would I be able to allow Sigel freedom from the chain for like an hour?
Yeah, you can allow him off the chain for as much as you want, but he's still restricted by distance at some points. But you could allow him off the chain so he doesn't have to feel something tugging at him all the time.
Yes.
But if you are going to go around and navigate, you are required to hold him by his chain.
Yep.
But you give Sigel permission to be free from the chain. You feel the chain kind of loosen off of your hand and clunk against the floor. Before you see Sigel kind of like rub at his neck and readjusting the shackle around his neck. Oh, that feels nice. Thank you, Atlas. So even though the shackle remains around his neck, he doesn't feel the constant tugging. And as you see him kind of like readjusting the shackle, you notice the large black burn mark around his neck from when you used fever.
Can I use the cold snap and melt ice so it creates cold water?
Well, so you begin to start using cold snap, and Sigel just looks at you and is like, "What are you doing?"
I'm gonna drip water onto the burn.
What, you mean this? And he rubs against the burn. This don't hurt, Atlas. Like, this
You
is...
know, though?
I'm a demon. I'm used to the infernal heat. You think your fever's gonna do much? It's only a 3rd-degree burn. And hell, that's high.
I'm gonna sit down and cross my arms.
Oh, Atlas, stop complaining, you child. Anyways, what did the rest
I'm
of
gonna
you
start
wish
a
to do?
campfire.
I want to sit next to Atlas.
Alright, so Phoenix, you sit
You make
next
a
to
fire
Atlas. So Atlas, you make a fire pit, and you, Phoenix, and Sigel just kind of sit there. Alexios, what do you wish to do?
I guess begin working on my technology.
Alright, so you pour out the scraps you have from scavenging that place on the work table. After looking over and doing some diagnostics, you notice there is enough parts to fix Phoenix's voice box, if you do so please.
Well, I will do that.
Phoenix, do you accept
People
the...
will be free from the
Don't fucking shush me, bitch. I took that personally.
people will be free from that.
So, Phoenix, do you accept Alexios fixing your voice box so you can actually talk?
You sure?
Alright, so, Alexios, you call Phoenix over, and so, Phoenix, you walk over. Alexios runs a diagnostic scan on you before kind of lifting up your head, reaching at your neck, and unbolting a plate from your neck. And then you feel him pull out your voice box from your neck. So you're just kind of sitting there in complete silence now. Just kind of watching him as he messes with some wires, adds some solder, and puts some components back in.
That would be so funny right now. If for some reason we have to stop, so I'm just stuck completely mute.
I'm not going to be so cruel. I'm not going to be so cruel. So, after
You're
a few
missing out
minutes,
on
Alexios,
memes.
you believe that you finished working on the voice box, and you put it back into Phoenix's neck, rebolt the plate, and give her the go-ahead to try speaking.
Okay, begin.
Hello?
Hey, it works.
All of a sudden, you see Sigel just kind of look up in a shock and just like, I'm sorry, was that thing that was only speaking and broken actually now working? Oh, look at that!
Yeah,
Miracles do happen. 50
I
years too
just
late.
fixed it. It's not a miracle, it's technology.
Technology,
Pretty
miracles,
voice.
same dumb difference. You see
I'm
Sigel.
not even gonna respond to that.
You see
I'm just gonna
Sigel
say
take a
now.
random piece of cloth and form it like a hood around his head. That feels better to have. Anyways, Husk, what do you wish to do?
I'm just gonna say now that Phoenix is probably still not gonna talk much after years of being used to being soundboards. She's still gonna be like, I can't say anything. Wait, yeah, I can. What am I doing?
Yeah, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna go into the void.
Okay, Husk, you go into the void.
I'm gonna go into the void, like, be like a specter and just start spooking people. It's like, they can't notice me, there's nothing there, and I'm just gonna start whispering to them.
I will not allow you to
From the
target
void?
people within the void. I will not allow this.
Why not?
These other scavengers have done nothing to you. They're just trying to live a day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You've lived with them for a while, do not harm them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyways.
you've been with them. You've been with these other scavengers for a few years now.
Never. Doesn't mean that I've grown any affection towards them, but okay.
Yeah, but they're still nice enough to keep you around.
Could kick you out.
Okay.
I say that we should go to the boss and put a petition to kick him out.
No!
He's such a good research tool.
Tool.
Yeah.
No, tool.
The only thing you're worth is fixing Phoenix's work. As fixing Phoenix's voice box.
I can do much more than that.
You hear Sigel drink.
He has a gun!
You hear Sigel start speaking while he's drinking from a whiskey. Would all of you children stop arguing? Jesus Christ, can an old man get some sleep for once?
I lived longer than you.
I don't give a shit!
Can I make him
You're
earmuffs?
arguing like a child!
I want Phoenix to go back to Atlas and to sit down.
Can I be like making Sigel a pair of earmuffs?
Sure, you can knit Sigel a pair
I
of
could probably do
earmuffs.
that in Manatech.
Huh?
You start knitting Sigel a pair of earmuffs. And when you're finished, you
What
get...
did you say?
I said I could probably make a pair of them with nanotech.
But I want to make it.
Okay, I won't touch it.
So, Atlas, you make Sigel a pair of earmuffs before just putting it on top of his head without even letting him protest it. Before he just looks at you and then just grabs them off his head before just shrugging and putting them back on. Sigel then just seems to lay down on the hard floor and just fall asleep. At least you think he fell asleep. You can't really tell
Can I
between what
make a
looks to be
pillow?
lounging or actually sleeping. So, is that all you guys wish to do for this?
Sure.
Was there
I'd
anything you
search
guys
around
like
the
to do
void.
for your long rest?
With my new voice, I want to say goodnight to Atlas before powering off.
Good night.
I
Okay.
did it for the meme.
So, after a few hours, all of you decide to actually long rest, and that is where we will end the session.
Alright, bye.
I'm actually going to miss the soundboard a little bit.
You can still use it. You'll
And
just now
now
be
you-
able to
and now
actually
you need
communicate to your party
a
about what
voice.
you're trying to do.
You need a voice. What's it called? Voice.
Voice changer?
Yes.
You think I should have a voice changer?
Yeah.
I don't know where to find a good one that doesn't cost money.
Oh shit, Dominic! I forgot to call Satsu.
That's fine. You guys can do that next session.
Well,
I wake up in the middle of the night.
so what can my technology, what can my scrap allow me to do?
So, with the current
I do
amount of
have a
scrap you
funny
have, you
idea.
could upgrade your armor and your rifle.
I do have a funny idea.
I don't know.
If I get a power source, I can turn the leg into a phase saber.
Noah, are you gonna make a steam-powered phase saber?
make that already, right?
I can?
Yes!
You can.
You don't need to turn the leg into a freaking hard lightsaber.
I think he wants to use the leg though for the memes.
And it uses, and I don't have to create a base for it since it's already a decent
And you
tech.
could tell somebody to
This is
break a
from
leg and then
years
break the leg over their head.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm gonna make a phase saber out of a leg.
Also, Husk ran off before I got to say this, but you guys will get to know what Noise gets to do next session.
Ah, great.
And you guys will probably hate that more than the fear.
If
Oh god,
I,
it's gonna be something that like with the warden in Minecraft, you gotta be
I
sneaky and
need,
quiet.
I
Makes
need
sense.
to get away
But I will not
to
confirm more
deal
than I
with
do.
Husk. Because I don't think Husk likes me anymore.
I don't think Husk
Yeah, I
really
don't-
likes
I don't
any of
think,
you.
I don't
Anywhere.
think he likes any of us.
But on the bright side, I can and anytime he gets into what I gotta do is just yoink his head off the armor.
You could do that,
I
but
like
but
the end
until
of
his
last
armor is
session.
shattered and like spread apart, he's bonded entirely to his armor. So picking him up would include picking up all his armor as well.
The last session, we were just like,
Armor.
okay, I was just like, I trust Phoenix and I somewhat trust Husk. Now it's I trust Phoenix. That's it.
You trust
I
Phoenix,
trust
somewhat trust
Period.
Atlas, and have no trust whatsoever for either Sigil or Husk.
Oh no, he's terrified of Sigil. That's why he immediately. That's why he immediately left. The
I mean,
second
if you guys want to know what
dragged him into
happened
the
to
back
the
room.
corpse that Sigil handled, he kind of
I'm gonna.
made it go bye-bye.
tore it
I
apart,
have a question.
ate it.
Huh.
It's probably a stupid question because Sigil is Sigil, but how does Sigil know how to put a soul back into a body?
I mean,
He technically
He's
is
dead.
a soul.
he's dead. He understands all this stuff.
Fair enough.
He's
Also, Moss.
dead, and he's also an avid
Huh?
researcher on his own time.
You should draw Phoenix with just the soul head in her arms like a football. Just like it would be
Okay.
funny. You don't have to, but it'd be funny.
Yeah, but the way I imagine Phoenix is very different from the way you imagine her.
How do you imagine her?
I can draw it right now.
Do it. It might be the same. You don't know.
Alright, I'm gonna end recording 1 second.
I'll get a piece of paper.
Because to be honest, I don't have it. all that, like, lucid idea of what Phoenix looks like. I know what, like, certain bits that I know have to stay the same, but then the rest is literally up in the wind.
Of course.